Welcome to Afterthoughts, everybody. This is our Recommend or Refute episode where we will each tell you about something that we have watched and whether we would recommend or refute it. I am your host, Michael Dixon. With me, as always, John Garcia.
Hey, Dixon, I'm just coming off of my brainwashing assimilation into the podcast. I don't want to destroy the other podcasts. I've decided that was a wrong of me.
Oh.
It seems like I learned the wrong things from Starship Troopers, and I just want to make a public apology that I'm sorry everybody out there felt bad about it. I'm really sorry for them for feeling that way.
Interesting. John has been cured of his fascist tendencies,
right,
at least temporarily.
But I still haven't taken accountability because I'm sorry that everybody else felt that bad. I just
we'll
want
have
that
to
be
give you
the
some
note.
lashings after the
Yeah,
podcast.
10 lashes.
Okay.
Public square.
Fair enough. Wait until after you see what I'm bringing to recommend or refute to determine the lash count.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot. And Ryan King.
Hey, how's it going? I think we managed to stay not fascist, so I think we're okay.
It's a daily struggle.
Are you admitting that you're part of the,
Actually, it
the
really
terrorist
is.
organization, Antifa? Oh, God.
No, just not fascist.
Oh, okay. Natifa.
Natifa.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, what movie are you bringing? And yeah, we will determine afterward how many lashings you'll get.
So as everybody out there probably is aware, if you're following all the news recently, death comes in threes, and unfortunately, but kind of fortunate, those threes included one, Lindsey Graham died.
Yay!
So, yay! Dun, 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 dun. Drop the balloons. We've been
There were
waiting for this
parades
moment.
in the streets.
Yep. Mitch McConnell made some kind of Faustian bargain to scrape together a few extra years and or days
they've been
or months.
weekend at burning him for years now.
Still not proven.
Cryogenically frozen.
As of this recording, it's still not clear.
I really think that somebody's got him propped up Woodrow Wilsoning a few things there. That'll
Very possible.
Yeah, so Lindsey Graham died. Unfortunately, Bonnie Tyler also died, and then Sam Neill died. And I felt very bad for those last two. And I felt very good for that first one.
Mm-hmm. I want to add a quick disclaimer. Cheering for the death of Lindsey Graham. I just want to say that normally this podcast would not endorse celebrating in people's deaths. But when you spend your entire life trying to fight for the destruction of as many foreigners as possible and just trying to kill as many Arabs as you can, I think your death deserves some cheering. So just to caveat that previous statement, not trying to be insensitive by making light of the dead, but I am with Lindsey Graham because he's a special kind of shithead.
We honored two other dead people, okay? Like on this podcast, we take it seriously that your deeds reflect who you are and what you do, and the kind of revelry you deserve when you're dead.
Absolutely.
Would they tear down Stalin's statue? They sure did, and they deserve to. So good for them, whoever they are.
the proletariat.
Yeah, sure. But I wanted to watch something in honor of Sam Neill. I told Sasha, let's pick a movie. I want to watch John Carpenter's Mouth of Madness, or maybe we'll go with Possession or Jurassic Park. Why not? And she was like, how about Event Horizon?
Just come back. Event Horizon is the culmination of a secret government project to create a spacecraft capable of faster-than-light flight. Ship doesn't really go faster than light. What it does is it creates a dimensional gateway that allows it to jump instantaneously from one point of the universe to another light years away.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out.
After 7 years in deep space.
There were 18 people on board this ship when it disappeared. I want them all accounted for.
Opening outer door.
It came back, abandoned.
Any crew?
Negative. This place is a tomb.
But it didn't come back alone.
And I said, yeah, sure, fuck it. It's like, I guess, one of Paul W.S. Anderson's only good movies. I don't know if that's a strong assertion, but Paul W.S. Anderson, everybody out there should know this at this point. He's the other Paul Anderson. that's making movies in Hollywood. And he's mostly he's a real wife guy, that Paul Anderson. He's made so many movies with his wife, Mia Jovovich, starting with Resident Evil 1.
That makes so much sense. I did not know that they were married.
All the way to Resident Evil 8 or whatever the fuck it's called. And
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. And then that other movie with Dave Bautista that was like based on a George R.R. Martin thing. I think that maybe he made that. I don't remember. It was like a year ago. But
impossible to know.
Anyways, Paul Anderson had a good run in the 90s. He made Mortal Kombat, which made a shit ton of money. And then he got to go and make this other fucking movie, Event Horizon, which had Sam Neill and made, I think, a decent amount, but it was like...
And then he made Boogie Nights.
Yeah, you know, and everybody
very wide range of things.
Yeah. But Event Horizon tells the story of a group of, they're not explorers, they're like a military group that's going out to see what's happened to the ship off in the distance. When humanity is established that they have like interstellar travel now, they're going to go kill bugs. That's what we all assume. And they do it through like some hyperdrive shit that sends them through a dimensional wormhole portal, and now they can leap through different parts of space to go explore. And the Event Horizon is one of the ships that's going out to do some exploration out on the outer belt of the solar system. But it goes quiet and dark and nobody knows what happened. So Sam Neill, who is the original like technician and or one of the scientists behind it, decides that he's going to go out and figure out what happened. And he has to take a whole group of different like military like aides with him to figure out what's going on in the ship. It turns out that the interdimensional travel takes the ship through a dimension that is very similar to hell, if not actually hell. And anybody who's exposed to it goes absolutely insane, becomes mad, and just starts fucking doing crazy demonic shit and killing people and doing all this other stuff. So the whole ship becomes tainted by some evil presence. It's a spooky haunted ship. Premise is neat in concept. The execution, pretty solid, but the like casting and the acting, not that great. Aside from the fact that like Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill are in it and they do a fucking phenomenal job with what they have. The set design is really cool and impressive, but it's one of those science fiction movies where like they go for rule of cool more than they go for like a logical, this makes sense why this would be here. So like the whole ship that they explore is spooky haunted mansion ship. So like everything is like way more dangerous and absurd than you see like the ISS now, and like you're like, oh, everything's like logically laid out and they have grips for all the astronauts to go through. Like, no, there's like a fucking walkway with no handrails and an open thresher that's like just constantly spinning and ready to tear anybody to fucking shreds. And you're like, I don't understand what this does in the ship. Like, I don't know what any of this is. They have like a big old place where they're like, this is where our like nuclear fucking antimatter reactor is. And it's this giant fucking orb that looks like it belongs in Notre Dame. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, why would this be this weird, like religious looking object in the middle of the ship is what powers it? And we have, again, open walkways all around this dangerous atomic radioactive, whatever the fuck. Yeah, the whole movie's progression is just watching the ship slowly kind of come back to life and haunt all of the members. And they all see like different psychological things. Really great examples of like ways to fuck around with reality and the way that people perceive it and make like these creepy moments happen. But there's just odd choices all around it that only Paul Anderson can pull off, I guess, in the way that he's trying to do it. He's like a light version of Michael Bay, in my opinion. There's like certain editing style he loves, which is like rapid and fast. He usually will put in like goofy things in the middle of like action sequences that just are like, this is light and fun, but the subject matter can be really fucking dark, which in this one, it's like people gouging their eyes out and doing whatever. But Sasha and I watched it. We really enjoyed it, but we also enjoyed laughing at parts of it because they use fucking like Looney Tunes sounds in really intense moments. Like they literally have the like sound of a ricochet go off and it's like on something. Yeah. And then somebody gets bonked and it goes gong, like a fucking head or some shit. It was a lot of whiplash, a lot of tonal whiplash in it. However, as much as I'm like panning it and saying, you know, I don't know, like it doesn't really work. It is probably one of the only movies that's attempted to do the, like, we're going through a wormhole and we're all demons now, like aside from the Doom movie. And the Doom movie is far inferior to this. So just on a relative scale, I would recommend it. But also from like it's pretty bad in a good way. And Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne do some great work with it. I'll also say Christopher Nolan fucking ripped off a sequence from it. So, there's a little bit of plagiarism that it takes, some acclaim for, in which Sam Neill explains how wormhole works. And it's the exact same scene from Interstellar. So, but yeah, I would recommend Event Horizon, even as goofy and dumb and weird as it is. Paul Anderson made a movie that still manages to be pretty impressive in its technicality and its production, in the cast, some of the cast choices and acting, and just premise. I thought it was cool. I don't know if I'm going to watch it again a lot, but I watch it every few years and I'm like, okay, you know what? I still like it. It's good.
Yeah. It's the hamminess.
Yes.
I think is the right level for what it is. And it is a really cool premise. It definitely had an influence on the horror video games.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of get the same vibes of exploring an empty ship and finding they find the video of them all tearing each other apart on the bridge or whatever when they've all gone crazy. And I think if it had leaned more into that and had been more like The Shining, where you're kind of in this creepy place and finding these increasingly weird, creepy things, and then Sam Neill's around there being weird and writing creepy shit on the walls and blood, that part was all fine. But then when it's this, we got to blow the ship up or whatever,
Goofy
and it falls into kind of just
schlock.
basic horror bullshit. Yeah, that it really falls apart.
What you're describing kind of sounds like Annihilation to me, where they're going into this weird place and discovering found footage of people going crazy doing weird shit.
Kind of that. Yeah, it does have that vibe.
I actually just thought that same thing.
but it is ultimately betrayed by all of Paul Anderson's worst intentions. There's jump scares that aren't really that scary or that jumpy. It's just the movie being look at that. And you're okay, whatever. There's other stuff that could have been creepier. It has a notorious story too, where apparently it was cut down to a PG-13 rating. I think it's PG-13.
Yeah. It also was edited really quickly.
Yes.
Because that was also 1997 and they knew Titanic was coming out and had moved its release to where it would have fallen at the same time. So they tried to pull their release earlier. So they kind of scrambled at the end of making the movie, and it shows. They
chopped a lot of it out, and they chopped a lot of supposedly there was a much more violent and gory set of sequences. There was a lot more footage to it. They cut all that out, and I think that they promised that they would maybe make a director's cut for Paul Anderson at some point. They put it in a salt mine, and then that salt mine burned down or some shit. Supposedly, that's the rumor. But did it really, or did somebody sneak in there and go, "You're never going to see this part"? Fuck you, Paul Anderson. They were just tired of him. Who knows? But yeah, I would recommend it. Although now that you bring up Annihilation, I'd recommend that more. So thank you.
I would assume.
For
goes without saying.
To attention. Everything after this movie that's Paul Anderson, I just don't think is a really good movie. It's not. This is the last it's kind of entertaining before it gets obnoxious.
What about Phantom Thread?
Those are great. Phantom Thread's good. I would do that. There Will Be Blood is also good. There's a lot of Paul Anderson movies that I think about it now, I would recommend.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he made it into Criterion, but he did it. Congrats, Paul.
It's a very weird career this guy's had.
I wish Philip Seymour Hoffman was in Event Horizon.
Oh, man.
It would be amazing.
Oh, man. Yes.
It's so good. But yeah, there's really not much more to say about it. It was a send up to Sam Neill. I guess the only other thing I would add is, does it feel like I honored Sam Neill's legacy by watching it? And the answer is no. I really don't think that I did.
Yeah.
I really think that there's a better movie out there I should have picked or fought for. But it is what it is.
But Mountains of Madness is also that
yes,
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I just love it because it's John Carpenter and Sam Neill working together, and it's fun to see what they can accomplish.
Yeah. Anyway, Ryan, what are you bringing to us tonight?
Yes, I did watch a movie. I watched 2012's Resolution.
Found this library book on our doorstep.
What was that? Mike, it's an old house. It's gonna make noise sometimes.
The people come here to look for aliens. Ghosts and cults and gateways to hell.
What was that?
Looking into other dimensions.
Dude, you keep coming here with these recordings and these stupid stories about how you found them, and you're acting weird.
I think someone might be messing with us.
Maybe you have split personalities and you're leaving each other gifts for you to find.
Did you see that?
See what?
What?
That.
That's satellites. They watch everything.
What's going on, Mike?
If there is something, it is none of these things.
We need to leave before they get here. What would convince you that I'm not crazy?
I want to keep calling it The Resolution, but it's just Resolution.
Yeah, that was back when they dropped the Facebook.
Yeah.
A resolution.
Some kind of resolution. Directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorehead, or I guess the directed, written, created. I just like looking for things to watch. I guess they have more recent movies that got a little bit more attention.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's some of the indie circuits, The Endless, and what was the other one?
Synchronic.
Yeah. And I was like, I kind of looked at those and I was like, maybe. And then I saw people who were like, oh yeah, you got to go back and watch Resolution as well. And that one just kind of like, I watched like a little clip and was like, all right, I'll give this a shot. The premise is that our main character, his buddy is just out doing meth and all of the drugs all of the time. And he wants to go out and help him get clean. Mm-hmm. His buddy sent him a video of himself taking meth and just firing guns in the air and yelling nonsense. And so that's when he's like, okay, it's got to be now. He goes out to find him in this like unfinished house.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a mattress and there's like no walls. It's just like the frame of the house essentially. And he handcuffs him to the wall to keep the drugs away from him. Is like, we're just going to hang out here until till it's all out of your system. And then the movie proceeds to just, he keeps finding weird stuff, like a videotape and like audio with like weird things on it and like pictures of weird shit. And he just kind of keeps finding these things and kind of following them and trying to figure out what's going on. And then it does get weirder to where he finds videos like of himself when he was like, who was taping this? Like, how was that happening? And it just kind of keeps going on that. It kept me interested. It had the problem of the whole time. I actually watched this with Logan as well. The whole time, this is one of those you sit there and you're like, you idiots, go somewhere else.
Yeah, do anything
right?
else.
Of like, yeah. And there are these like beyond the like weird shit that he finds, there are two friends of his buddy that are like want drugs from the buddy and he owes them some drugs and they show up increasingly angrier and with weapons and you're just like, just leave, right? Where they can't find you. And then it also turns out that technically this house is on the reservation. And some of the natives tell him like, we own this house. You need to get the fuck out. And then you're like, you have 48 hours and then we're coming and fucking breaking your kneecaps or whatever. And he just continues to stay there with his buddy when we know both of these forces could come and kill them at any moment. And so that's where you're kind of yelling at them as the audience member, like, to quit being so stupid, quit being so interested in these weird ass tapes. Like, that's just another reason to get out of there. At some point, he's just like goes for a walk and he runs into what's clearly cult members
Okay.
that are just like hanging out. Yeah. And again, you're like, okay, nope. Like everything you've gone to is weird. Like, why wouldn't you leave?
Yeah.
I do feel like, and I will, if you're thinking about watching it, there is a good twist. Obviously, this is the kind of movie where you're like, what's going on? It felt like it wrapped it back around to where I was kind of okay with it. But you start to realize every time he's finding these things, he kind of talks about the story. Like, what's the story of this? Or what's the story with this, weird, he finds like a projector along with the thing. Like whatever it is he needs, he also finds the technology, the old ass technology to play it. But then it's weird because like on the projector is pictures of himself, right? And he's like, how the hell did they get those and then get a projector out here? And right, like what's the deal with that? What's this? Eventually, I started to realize, I don't know when it would click for most people, but you're like, oh, okay, this is like that cabin in the woods kind of situation. Like someone is watching them and trying to get to the end of the story. Right. And so it's sort of, then you're like, okay, as the audience, I'm watching this horror movie and I am thinking one of these forces is going to come and kill him if he doesn't get fucking out of there. Right. That's the expectation I have as an audience. And so that's cool. Like I came back around to where I'm like, okay, I get it. I wish it hadn't been so on the nose that they were stupid. Like I still could have, as a viewer, I've watched other horror movies where there's an impending problem, but you don't have stupid protagonists. And I kind of wish that had happened.
Yeah, they have their like self-preservation still about them. They actually think through how they could avoid a situation. And even if they make a wrong decision, it's an intelligently rational, like they're trying to logic it out.
Right. It's like, or they couldn't get away with, like, no matter what they did, there wasn't a way to get away from it or whatever, even though they tried. Yeah. Like I would have preferred something along those lines. They eventually, the videos and stuff that they see actually like begin to happen in the future. Like they actually watch videos of themselves getting shot. And so then they run out of the house and then they watch a video of themselves, like the house is getting burned down. And so they're like they do start to try to keep that from happening. They at least, I guess, finally get like smart enough. And then it's like revealed at the end that there's some like angry force that doesn't like that they didn't like get to a bad end, that like a good end. And so like I kind of came around to it. It's on a very like low budget. But I actually think like the acting, the two main actors, I actually think did really good for their roles. Like I bought it and it was good and they had a good camaraderie. Like you could, feel that they were friends that knew each other and they had these inside jokes or, people they talked about in their past. The guy that comes from the reservation, he's one of the actors in Reservoir Dogs. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I love that guy.
Reservation Dogs or Reservoir Dogs?
Reservation Dogs.
Okay.
You said
native,
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
I was like, was it Michael
Reservoir
Madsen?
Dogs?
Was it Harvey Keitel?
Reservation Dogs. He plays the cop Big in that.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So like overall I was like, okay, the casting worked out. The acting's good. The location is fucking weird. Like they really did nail like their locations of like this, house that's not finished. There's like a cave underneath the house. There's like this weird burnt down house with like just the fireplace remaining that's like next to it. Like when they go into like, I was like the location scouting and location was like great. It fit really well. So kind of like this is in that spot of like, I want to like everything about the movie, and kind of the one nitpick that I can like pull at is if in the middle of it had been a better horror movie, where the characters weren't so exceedingly dumb, I think it would have like much more fully won me over. And so it's in that, like, I recommend it. I think it's probably worth a watch. I am interested enough to watch the other things from these creators. I think, John, you've seen some of this stuff.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that I appreciate what Justin Benson and Aaron Moorehead try to do in all of their movies. All of the ones I've seen, they have a pretty genuinely cool concept or premise. And theoretically, the ingredients to make it work, but then something about it is always just a little bit off. Like they rely a little too much on the writing skill and they don't get like a feedback on it or whatever. Because I watched The Endless, and The Endless is like, there's some pretty interesting pieces to it. It's, two old cult members that had retired and run away decide that maybe they're going to go back out and see if the cult camp is still there. And like they get trapped in like some kind of cosmic beings, web basically. And Synchronic with Anthony Mackie had like a promising start and then just becomes really dumb like halfway through when Anthony Mackie starts making stupid decisions just to like help a friend out in something. And I didn't remember it being beyond that. Like there's a gimmick in it and it's not that memorable and it makes no sense when you logically think about it. Cause you're like, how do you take drugs to go back in time, Ryan? How do the drugs make you go back to a different period where a Spaniard tries to kill you, Ryan? Like how would that happen? And I've watched Something in the Dirt as well, which was a recent thing. And it pissed me off because it's just about two guys who are like do nothing ne'er-do-wells that discover that one of their closets is haunted and they decide that they're going to film it. And it slowly just becomes them going insane trying to film the closet. But like, there's no like real hook beyond like, what the fuck are they trying to do? You're just watching them try to exploit this closet and it's not even funny. It feels like it's trying too hard. So like all of those premises have something interesting with them, but they just kind of fall flat for me.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of their movies too. I've seen The Endless and Synchronic, and I don't know, The Endless I thought was actually quite bad. There are interesting aspects to it, like there's interesting ideas in it, but I thought it was really poorly executed, not very well acted, and it got pretty good reviews when it came out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, this is a sci-fi movie from these indie directors. I wanted to like it, and I was just like, man, like this just... They have good ideas, but I just don't think they're the right people to execute them. Like they need to be the guys that come up with a cool story and then somebody else turns it into a real screenplay and somebody else other than that directs it. You know, like I don't know that they need to be that involved in everything they're doing. Synchronic was, it just didn't really work. And that one they actually got some money for. Like they got Anthony Mackie, you know, I think that's the only thing they've done where they've gotten like real actors to be in it, or like not saying the other people aren't real, but like Hollywood names to be in the movie. But I mean, their other productions do feel very homemade to a degree. Where like the Endless, the acting is pretty bad.
Yes, I'd agree.
So it's interesting to me that so this is their earlier movie than those, and they had actors in it that I felt like did a good job for what it was. But in the other movies, they've cast themselves.
Right. I think that's
that you guys are like, the acting
problem
is bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it almost seems like they need to work with some decent actors. They have a good idea. They need someone to edit their script.
Yeah.
And like tighten
let
up
somebody
those
else
pieces.
direct it. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that. So the other thing I saw from them is that they've done a bunch of directing on Marvel TV shows. And that's kind of what they've been doing right now. So they did a couple episodes of Moon Knight, some of the second season of Loki, and then they've been on the new Daredevil. And those are good, like that I've seen as far as, and obviously they didn't write or have any say in the acting or any of the rest of it. Like they just directed. And I know TV show direction is a little bit, you can kind of like just put people in on random episodes and it doesn't necessarily change it. Like there's already like a pretty built-in plan.
But maybe that's a way for them to just kind of learn some tricks of the trade and to like just hone their directing skills a little bit.
It sounds like maybe they're just like one tweak away from an actually good like hit. They're just like, interesting. I still kind of would recommend it, and I'm still interested to see their other stuff, just again from like the craft standpoint.
Yes, I admire them, like I said, as independent filmmakers. I think that they have cool concepts and they really try their best to bring them to the screen in a way that, you know, is true to what their vision is. But there's always just something off when I watch them that keeps me at arm's length from truly enjoying the full feature itself.
John, why do you think you keep going back to their movies? I've seen 2 of them and I was like, I don't think I need to see anymore. And I probably should have stopped after the 1, but curious why you keep going back to them. Is there something that draws you in? It's just like, it's cool that they're independent guys that are doing, you know, weird stories and you want to root for them to succeed?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's that, like, I want to recognize the hard work of filmmakers who they are crafty. They do have like really creative solutions to certain things. And like, you know, even if they're going to make the mistake of casting themselves as the actors in their own scripts, like, and their writing is not that well polished, there's a certain trail I want to see if I can like pin out what their progress is, or like, there could still be really crafty and creative solutions that they've come up with for how they capture lower budget horror or the way that they're trying to tell a certain story. And like even Something in the Dirt, which I wasn't a huge fan of, halfway through flips a switch into like a meta narrative that I didn't think it was going to be. And it was interesting to see that happen. Like it actually started to be more amusing and funny. But by that point as well, I just was like, well, I wasn't sold too much on the initial part of it. The latter half didn't bring me back all around all the way, but it has that same thing that Ryan's talking about where like you spend the first half of it kind of frustrated. And then the latter half, you're like, oh, there's actually something clever here. But by that point, like the momentum is so degraded that you're like, it's like in the middle of the road. Like, okay, sure. So like, I just want to see them hit one, it's like watching a friend at the batting cages hit like every ball in it, like would have been a foul or like they're really close to hitting like something that would go hard. And you're like, I just want to see you knock it out. Like just fucking hit one. Really good, or really well. That's the grammatical correct thing.
Yeah, and generally, I want to see guys like that succeed.
Yeah,
you want independent filmmakers to be able to be successful and to bring in new ideas. And I think that's why I was so frustrated with their films. It's like, you got something there, but you're just not able to get it to the screen in a compelling way.
I think they just need to meet like another person that is going at like a party that's like, hey, I liked your movies, but I think that these things, maybe we should work together. And then they would get like a third creative voice in that could like guide some of it.
Close it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe at that point they would get the tweaks that they need if they're willing to, listen to that. But if they're fucking out there having fun, good for them. I'll let you know, Dixon, if they fucking knock it out of the park when I see whatever.
I'd be willing to see something of theirs again.
Yeah.
And they've gotten like good feedback on the Marvel shows because they got asked to come back and become like the lead directors, like over multiple seasons and shows. They got brought back.
Yeah.
And even I heard like Vincent D'Onofrio say he liked working with him. I'm like, okay, I respect Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Now, but I'm like, to some point though, I'm a little bit like, maybe he liked that they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to.
That could be
and maybe maybe Marvel liked them because they did what Marvel wanted them to. So it's hard to tell if they're just good at getting it done or
it's
if
also
they actually are like learning a lot.
They direct all of those things that are written by like career screenwriters who are polished, who are meant to like wrap everything up neatly.
And they're working with amazing actors.
Yes. And then when they like direct their own things, they're hiring it on shoestring budget, casting for how they feel it should be cast. They're writing it the way that they think it should be written. And I don't know what they seek out from like a feedback standpoint and that kind of thing. So it's just, that's kind of the quality difference.
Their last movie was Something in the Dirt, and they've only done TV since that. Only Marvel TV.
They don't even have a movie
when they get back around
in planning
slot it up.
Anything. Yep. Yeah, there's nothing in the future on their director list.
To some extent, they're an executive producer on the Daredevil TV show. That's how you fucking rake in the dough. So maybe they don't need to do anything else. Like,
they made it. But yeah.
Cool. So is that a recommend or a refute from you, Ryan?
It's a recommend. I think it's
okay.
I think it's worth a watch.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, that brings us to me, and I'm going to talk about the massive movie that came out this week as we are recording. I assume probably will still be in theaters when this comes out because this thing's doing very well. That is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
After years of war, no one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
Oh, not Moana?
No.
Live action Moana, Christopher Nolan's live action Moana.
Not the movie where The Rock has hair. That's just disturbing. No one wants to see
that.
But
doesn't have nipples.
He doesn't have nipples?
He doesn't have nipples.
What? What did they do to his nipples?
You'll have to watch to find out.
Is he okay? I have so many questions now. Just derailing the podcast.
This is what's distracting about that movie because he has all the tattoos. They have like an overlay on top of him that they can digitize the tattoos or whatever, and they didn't give it nipples for some reason.
What the fuck? Oh, that's so disturbing. Okay. Well, they used the nipples to give him hair or something. I don't know. Wow. Anyway, this is not about The Rock or his weird
The Rock's
body.
nipples.
Yeah. We're talking about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I'm mixed on Nolan generally. I loved Oppenheimer. I thought it was an incredible film, and I think by far the best thing he has done. I think Interstellar is a train wreck. I think Tenet is just unwatchable, and there are a lot of movies that I think he's made that are quite bad. But I think he's capable of making really good movies. Everything he does is always well produced, but not necessarily well directed or well written, which creates problems there. I was really excited about The Odyssey. I really liked the book when I read it in high school. I haven't, that was a long time ago, but, I've always enjoyed other adaptations of The Odyssey. The Simpsons has a great adaptation of The Odyssey. So I was going into it with optimistic expectations, but not really sure what to expect from Nolan. You never really know what you're going to get. Overall, it's a good movie. I think it's incredibly well produced as always. It's beautifully shot. The action sequences are really great. The editing is good for the most part. I had some problems with the casting and the writing that were hard to kind of get past for me. Like, they do all of the things from the Odyssey. There's the Cyclops and the Sirens and like all the Circes and all the things that you expect to see you get, and all those scenes are very well done. There's a lot of scenes just with the suitors at, Penelope's house in Ithaca. And like, there's a lot of that in the book, so I understand why it's in the movie. But I was just really bored by those sequences, and I kept just waiting for them to get to the next set piece that they were doing, which again, were all very well put together. I think a lot of my issues with the movie is Tom Holland. He is just, in my opinion, a terrible actor. I don't think he acts. He doesn't know how to act. He just is Tom Holland. And if you're Tom Cruise, that's fine because you're charismatic. And so you don't have to act because you can just be Tom Cruise and you can be enjoyable on screen. Tom Holland is a cardboard cutout of a human being with no personality or charisma whatsoever. And I don't understand why he keeps getting work. He's in this movie for such a long period of time on screen that I just was like, can we please get back to, the crazy shit that's going on the journey home, not like Tom Holland bitching and moaning about, wanting the throne, but clearly not having the balls to just take it for himself. But anyway, like all the stuff with Odysseus and all of his journeys is really well executed. There's a really, like, the Hades scene is super well done. There's a lot of stuff that's really cool. Damon is an interesting casting choice, I think, as Odysseus. I think he does a very good job in the role, but I don't know that he's not the person that I would have cast as Odysseus if I was doing it. I think somebody like Oscar Isaac, might have had a little bit more gravity to the role and kind of seem a little bit more, like he would be Odysseus. Then I don't know what I'm saying, but Matt Damon seems a little too casual, I guess, to kind of pull it off. He does a good job, and I don't think he gives a bad performance at all. But I think some of the writing is just not really there to like bring the characters to life on screen in a way where you are really rooting for them and, kind of understanding and getting to know these people. I know it's a book that was written forever ago, and, he's adapting it for modern audiences. And I think, like, Penelope and Telemachus are pretty flat characters in the book, but, you're bringing them to the screen and making a 3-hour movie and putting them on screen so much. Like, I want more there. And I felt like Anne Hathaway just didn't really have much to do as Penelope. Tom Holland just, he didn't have anything to do, but he can't do anything. So I don't know why he's on screen so much. Robert Pattinson was great. I thought he was cast perfectly in his role as like a lusty, ravenous suitor who is just like, really going for the throne and trying to do everything he can to, kind of play, play games to like make his way to the top of society. Like that works really well. But I think there's just a lot of stuff that doesn't land as well, and characters that just aren't as well drawn as Pattinson's character is. Like, you could tell that Nolan was having fun writing Pattinson's character, and just wasn't, that joy is not evident in the other characters that he was putting together. So overall, it's a good movie. I think there's a lot of stuff that's done really well, but it's just a little bit flat, I think, and I would have loved the characters to be a little bit more fully thought out. I would have loved some different casting choices. John Leguizamo plays a serious role, which is weird. It's not he does a bad job with it, but again, I just don't know that he's the right person for that role. But John, you saw it as well, right?
Yes, I did. And I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. I didn't mind the casting choices. I feel like Tom Holland, even if he is flat, just his physicality is that of like a boy. Like, I feel like he's perpetually going to be cast as younger characters because he's supposed to conjure some kind of like, this guy's just naive and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And there's no way that like he could take over this thing. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
To the extent that he should ever be cast in something, this is the closest thing.
Yeah.
But he's just like, there's nothing there.
I'm a classical mythology nerd, so I fucking love seeing things rendered by different filmmakers. And I'm a huge fan of like the old school stuff. There was like that whole like swords and sandals era of genre movies that like Clash of the Titans, which is I think the most like the latest one. It's like in the 80s or some shit. But like Jason and the Argonauts or like the Ray Harryhausen shit where they show like all the monsters stop motionified. And so I was excited to see how Nolan would do it. I know that there were articles written about how like apprehensive people were of like, well, Nolan usually makes everything grounded and gritty. Is he going to like fuck up Greek mythology by like rationalizing all of the myths out? And I was thankful that he didn't, that there were like actual monsters, actual magic. There is a lot of that stuff is grounded in ways that is more disturbing to see it. And I think that that's like the essence and the magic of capturing what the Odyssey is for a contemporary audience. And also I've seen a few articles and op-eds about how like it's a movie written in modern times with like it's restricted to our moral understandings, whereas like in Greek times, Odysseus is a very different character in this adaptation than he is in the story. The original in the original book, it's like the poem, he's just a badass who just like does what he's going to do. And he doesn't fucking give a shit. And he goes, kill it from place to place, outsmarting, outthinking, killing, doing whatever, being pretty flippant in the face of the gods, getting home and fucking shit up too. And there's not once like a moment where I think he really expresses any remorse. And in this movie, he's like riddled with PTSD and just like constantly just trying to figure out if he did the right thing or not. And it's really bringing like way more humanity to him as a character and making him less of like a mythological hero who's a badass and more of a dude who just wants out. Like he just wants to go home in the worst way. And he just can't get there. But yeah, I really loved all of the sequences. Also, like the score is fucking amazing in this movie. Mm-hmm. And I saw that like they did it with period accurate instruments that they recreated solely for it. And they didn't have like an orchestra or anything. They're like, no, just like make what they would have used back then and like fucking try to figure it out and do that as like the actual score. So it has this unique sound all throughout. But yeah, and then the big set pieces, like, Nolan just knows how to do spectacle. I've come to expect that from him. I think that I'm on record in a previous episode as describing him as the Michael Bay of art house cinema. And I believe that still holds true. There are a lot of just loud and like crazily done sequences in this that hold up on their own as just badass and awesome action and cool things. But then it has its own sort of heart peppered in, and the Michael Bay part comes when the characters are more flat and like underwritten. Yeah. So that's sort of it. But yeah, I liked it. I landed a lot higher, I think, on the scale than you did, Dixon. But I also, your points are valid. I just enjoyed myself a lot during it. I saw a 10:30 show as well. It was like so fucking late, and I forgot that movie was going to be 3 hours, and I was in it for the whole thing though. I really fucking enjoyed it, but I learned my lesson. I'm probably going to check the runtime next time I'm going to go see something at 10:30.
If it's Nolan, you can assume it's going to be pushing 3 hours.
Yeah, I really thought at some point it was going to be over 3 hours. And I remember seeing an article that was like, it's under 3 hours. And I was like, oh my God, Christopher Nolan, what are you doing?
Studios taking over.
Yeah.
I want to go see it. I feel like there's some mild obligation since I'm near one of the like only 70 millimeter.
Oh, definitely do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I have to see if I can find time.
I saw it in regular
IMAX.
IMAX.
It's still in.
And it looks great in regular IMAX. And, on film, definitely going to look even better.
Yeah.
I saw Oppenheimer in regular IMAX and was really, I feel like I want to experience it, and I like Nolan using practical effects still.
Yes.
And yeah, I just want to kind of see it for the masterpiece of craft.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing that you're going to get out of every Nolan movie. Like, if nothing else, at least it's going to be impressive and well shot, and maybe not a huge waste of time, at least from that standpoint. Tenet, huge fucking waste of time, but it looks good. But yeah, and I think there are some interesting ideas here. John, you had mentioned to me earlier that there's kind of some crossovers between Oppenheimer and the Odyssey, which I think is interesting. There's a lot of anti-war ideas about PTSD and him like being a different person after Troy, and that leading to his kind of wandering listlessness through the rest of the movie. But I think it undercuts those things a little bit through like honor for soldiers and that kind of thing, and as well through some kind of cheesy ways of talking about that. There's a scene later in the movie where Odysseus is disguised and talking to Penelope, and it's like kind of explaining his PTSD, but as if he's somebody else. And I thought that was like pretty bad monologue. That it was just like, I liked the ideas that it was espousing, but the execution of it, I was like, this is just really dumb. Like, it just, so I don't know. There's stuff that I think it hit better for you, John, than it did for me. But I think there are interesting ideas there in kind of recasting this story as like a mentally wounded soldier who is just kind of trying to put himself back together as he's going through these things.
Yeah. It also like, this is like the first movie where I feel like you get a real sense of how fucked up being in the Trojan horse was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
really well.
like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. So much about it explained that just does such a good job.
Yeah, cool. I also watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou this week because I thought that would be a fun comparison after seeing the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And it's my preferred adaptation of the two. But yeah, that movie is a lot of fun. Just Coen brothers kind of being as absurd as they've probably ever been. Just, weird ass movie, and one of the loosest adaptations imaginable, if you can even call it an adaptation of the Odyssey. Probably more just like aspects of it are inspired by the Odyssey. But that movie is a ton of fun. Great music, hilarious set pieces. I love kind of the reimagining of some of these things. As Cyclops is John Goodman with an eye patch, and the sirens are these weird women in the forest just singing bluegrass songs for some reason.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good bits in it. There's not a Cersei comparison, which I was a little bit disappointed by. I was like, when are they going to get turned into pigs?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
They just get turned into frogs.
It turned into a frog.
Well, that's
a
also
crossover. That's just the sirens.
That's the sirens too.
They just mixed them,
and he doesn't get turned into a frog. But that whole bit is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume you both have seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
It's been a long time, but yes, I have.
More than a few times. I watched it with the family as well, and they all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's definitely got quotes that I reuse quite a bit.
I saw a tweet the other day that said, did Nolan put the Soggy Bottom Boys into the Odyssey, or did he remove that for modern audiences? But yeah, Brother, Where Art Thou is great. If you're looking for a very different, very lighthearted adaptation of the Odyssey, very much the other end of the spectrum. But I would recommend the Odyssey. It's a visual spectacle. It's definitely worth seeing. I just don't think it's on the level that a lot of critics seem to. And so, I know a lot of my review was kind of complaining about what I didn't like, but there's a lot that's done really well. Definitely worth going out to the theater and seeing it if you can.
100%.
You know what's weird is that the Trojan horse isn't in the Odyssey or in the Iliad.
Wait, it's not
referenced in the original. Yeah. I mean, I guess original quote unquote of the Odyssey. It's like retold and like written down or whatever. Essentially, if you go like pick up the book of it in your Barnes and Noble, it's not in it. There were other poems of that whole saga, and there's one in between the Iliad and the Odyssey that's like lost to time, and that's actually the one that talks about the siege and
I could have sworn it was in the Odyssey.
It's so vital to both.
Yeah.
That every time we get an adaptation of either, we have to either end in the Trojan horse or start with the Trojan horse.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Interesting.
It's a fun fact.
Yeah. I like remember reading it in the Odyssey, so clearly I'm just inventing memories there. But that's wild. Cool. All right, so we have 3 recommends.
Yeah.
John with Event Horizon, R.I.P. Sam Neill, not R.I.P. Lindsey Graham. Ryan with a recommend for Resolution, not the Resolution, not a Resolution, just Resolution. And I am recommending Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and the Coen brothers' Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Damn, 4 recommends.
Yeah.
That last one snuck in there. We'll allow it. It's
Thank
Odyssey
you.
related.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like that was a very, very minor bending of the rules after the crazy shit we put up with from you two every week. But
sure, qualify it however you want.
Anyway, I have been your host, Michael Dixon. With me, as always,
Ryan King. There is a car wash near us that's called Dapper Dan. And every time I drive by it, I drive the kids crazy and go, I'm a Dapper Dan man myself.
Do they even know what you're referencing?
Yeah, because we watched it. I think that was where I was like, we just need to watch that movie.
Just need to see this now so they can tell
now they
you.
know.
Yeah.
Nice. And
John Garcia, if you have any suggestions on Sam Neill movies, we're all ears. Come on, submit them. Come join our Discord, or I don't know, fucking message us on social media. We'll check the handle eventually.
Absolutely.
Let us know. But R.I.P. Sam Neill. Death, don't take anybody else who's in the arts. Take other people. There's plenty of other good options.
Yeah, just more politicians, fewer artists.
If you want to think about how old our politicians are right now, there have been six. There have been 6 that have died.
Yeah,
it's fucking for being old.
Active politicians that have died just in this 2-year term.
Isn't it crazy?
I did not realize that. That's wild.
Insane.
Yeah.
Wow. They're older than Odysseus was when he returned home.
And we're not done yet.
Yeah. Wow. On that note, thanks for putting up with our bullshit.